know. And
You know what I
also
mean?
when you're eating fear and negative, I mean, the animals are, I mean, I go into slaughterhouses all the time, and, and I film and I do my stuff. I sneak in, I do my stuff, and so
You be sneaking in?
yeah, I have to. Yeah. So a lot of the footage that you see online is, you can't obtain it by just going in.
Yeah.
So
It's actually illegal a lot of times too.
yeah, and
You be sneaking in by yourself, girl?
that's how I went vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the way I went vegan, short story, is I was over everyone telling me like, oh, well, this is free range, this is humane, this is organic, this is beautiful. So I was like, okay, well, let me go see for myself. Was supposed to just make a 2-day trip with me and myself and I to go find the best organic free range farms and just basically go into one of them. This ended up being a 1.5 week long trip where I was gone, got a freaking headset, night vision headset, snuck into farms, talking about like the best, right? Like went to the back of the grocery store.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Saw the trucks they were coming off of and was like, okay, this is the best of the best. Like they were like, yeah, it's, I can't mention names, but this is the cream of the crop. Cool. Most expensive in the store. Snuck into these farms. My whole life changed overnight. Hell is a place on earth for a species that has done nothing to us. All we do is worry about our salvation.
Yeah.
If we do this, if we abide by these rules, if we do this, then, we ascend. But what about when we've created what we're so scared of for a different species?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And a step further, if we're not the one physically, doing it with our hands, we're still doing it with our dollar. It's transactional, but it's the same. It's an extended hand.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So anyways, it changed my life overnight. I no longer cared about the things that I did anymore. My whole mission was just to educate people on this because I actually feel bad for people as well as the animals because they don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm curious to see what you think about this because like someone like my mother being from a different country or like my friends who are like Indian from like, Bombay, like, okay, so there's this like, the way sometimes they like in India, they don't kill the cows.
Right.
They find them like very valuable and they respect them. So how do you feel about like different countries and like, you know what I mean? Because for them, it's like a sacrificial ceremony and they like, they're feeding it like really great food. Like in Africa, they're feeding it really great food and they're praying and they're loving it and they're like massaging and they're loving it. And then when they kill it, they pray over it. Do you feel the same way about that?
I've been to halal.
Okay.
So I went to Bali recently, went into a halal slaughterhouse.
Okay. Way better?
It's on my Instagram, on my highlights.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a joke.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, and I'm not talking like, to me, at the end of the day, if you were able to ask that animal, do you want to sacrifice yourself? Hell no.
Hell no.
So like, at the end of the day, like that's just it for me. But if I would just flip it and say, if someone did this to you, but if they prayed over you and if they pet you and if they like fed you good food, would you be okay with it? And I think you'd still say, hell no.
Yeah, hell no, for sure.
So I think it comes down to like we, which is why like I have this tattoo, speciesism, anti-speciesism is we believe that we're better and that we somehow have this
because we're able to talk. That's literally it. Exactly.
So we think we're better. Yeah. And so because of that, we believe that, well, if we do all these other things, then it's okay because it's for us and we're divine beings. I put myself in line with everything that exists down to an ant. Obviously, if I step on one accident, I can't help it. But like, I am no more important than anything else that exists here.
Right.
So because of that, I think if you have another option, we should explore it. If you don't, that's living. You have to do what you got to do. Like, totally. I would never go down to, Ethiopia where there's a starving child who doesn't even know if they're going to eat, let alone what they're going to eat. I would never tell them how I live and try to, promote that. I would try to promote a system of living that's sustainable for everybody in the community that doesn't harm animals. But it's different everywhere you go. But I mean, pain exists the same way no matter where you are. Yeah. So
I agree.
How long have you been vegan?
6.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you ever have any worries about omegas and all that?
So I just talked about this the other day. So a lot of people who've been like, like Miley Cyrus or people.
Right. Yeah. I just saw she was on Joe Rogan talking about that. Yeah.
So everyone stops being vegan for pretty much the same reasons. I have brain fog. I don't feel good. I had that. I had it when I went vegan. So I know it's very real. Some people
I experienced that too.
Yeah. Some people say it doesn't exist. I'm like, fuck you guys. It exists. Yeah. Like you can't, how are you going to say what someone else feels? However, as someone who felt that, because I'm so like grounded in ethics, it was like, no matter how bad I felt, I was going to figure it out. That was going to be the motivator for me to figure it out for everybody else. Cause I know we're all going to pass through the same kind of like phase. omega from algae. That's where fish get it. People are like, well, you need fish to live. You know, it's the bioavailability is more dense or whatever. But you do realize that every single animal on planet Earth gets everything that it has that we eat it for from plants.
Yeah,
there's nothing
100%.
Down to B12, and B12 is actually given to animals to supplement. So they don't even have it anymore naturally because they're in confined spaces. So when people are like weird about supplements, I'm like, all your food is taking supplements.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, the B12 I was always on top of for sure,
Right.
but I would pretty much have like a 9-month life expectancy as a vegan, and then I would just feel tired or
Right.
brain
Yeah,
fog or
same,
whatever, and
same.
then I would have salmon, and the next day I'm like, woo, let's go, baby,
Yeah.
let's do it. And then
Right.
it's like hard for me to deny, like, okay, I must be missing
Right.
something.
You totally
And it's always the
would, yeah.
fish. It's like I could probably not eat any other meat and
Right.
be fine with just like
Did
salmon
you ever
every
take
once in a while. yeah.
omega when you were vegan?
Yeah, like well, I would do like krill oil,
Okay.
so I wasn't like
Krill.
fully.
EPA and DHA,
Right.
so you need both.
Right.
Just because the conversions are different for everybody too. So like my conversion might be lower than yours or higher. Like, we don't know, right?
Right.
Like there's really no way to like test that. There's an average, but you should be getting EPA and DHA. And that's just what you should do. And at the end of the day, like everything that we eat, we should try to get it from food sources, just because food is made a certain way for a reason, because it has all the properties to break it down, to absorb in your body, and to move out. So when we separate things from sources, it can get a little muddy. That's why like powdered is really great, because it's everything that was already there. It's just powdered, like broken down that way. Same thing like for oil. If you take oil out of, you know, a plant,
A coconut.
right, like coconut or anything else, like you need to bind it with something else, like an acid and fiber, just because you want to have like that full balance kind of like process in your body. So when you just take one thing out, it probably isn't, the absorption isn't going to be as high. So I just like to go straight to the source of everything. So I take, actually, there's this one brand that I love. It's by Health Force Superfoods. And I've been taking them for like 2.5 years, and I do their spirulina, and they have this other green powder that has like tons of other things in it. But there's so many sources. But when people go through that, I'm like, yeah, that's very real. But we have supplements if you want to take them, or you can just get it from where the fish get it, which is just algae. So
Are you on Dr. Sebi? Like,
I love Dr. Sabe.
so do I.
Yeah.
So are you into the Irish sea moss?
Yeah, I love. Yeah,
I'm obsessed.
You take? Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
I make my own jelly.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So I've never baked with it. I guess you can, but no, I've been doing it for like, I want to say like 3 years. And there's like, you know, because I'm still like eating meat.
Right.
But there's a lot of mucus built up in my body, and I know it, and I can feel it, and I can tell, like, you know, every part of my body, I know when something's off. But Irish sea moss is the fucking like, literally, it's the go.
I mean, mucus is insane. Like, and I love how he put it to words for everybody. I can explain this to anybody, and they kind of go, oh, like the one thing, we can target things inside of a cell that are bad for us, viruses, bacteria, whatever it is. But what's the one thing, again, like talking about planet Earth, what's the one thing that we have in common? And it's the thing that encapsulates that, and it's the mucus.
Yeah.
You can throw antibiotics and properties into your body all day, but if it's protected by a layer that you can't even penetrate, then all that stuff's going rampant throughout your body, killing all the good stuff, while that stuff is safeguarded. So you have to melt that layer to then go in it with like the food and anything that you eat property wise, just to kill the bad stuff. Yeah.
Obsessed.
Dr. Savvy's the jam. Yeah.
Literally. I mean, his food thing is kind of hard to follow though, because I'm like,
yeah, I don't follow a
Goddamn.
mucus-free diet. I do beans. Like, I know you're not supposed to eat a lot of beans and stuff.
or anything white at all,
grains.
for that matter, like cauliflower at all.
Right, I don't do cauliflower.
Oh, you don't?
It doesn't digest properly for me. That or broccoli, I don't really love. I do mostly like dark leafy greens and lots of high fat. Like, I love fats. I do coconut cream all the time. I love avocados. Most girls, one of the reasons why a lot of girls stop being vegan is because they lose their period, and it's because they're not eating enough fat. Like, fat is good for you. When did we get so scared about fat?
I know.
Yeah.
Gosh, what was I gonna tell you?
The one thing I like about Dr. Sebi is he's like, yeah, I just eat the same meal every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo.
God, could you imagine? I could not.
When you're a guy, you just want simplicity, you know?
No, my boyfriend's the same way. Like, when I met him, I was like cooking all the like pad thai and like just like going crazy in the kitchen, and he was like, I appreciate all this, but like when I go back home, I eat tofu, rice, veggies, beans.
That's this one over here. He could eat the same thing every day.
I love that.
I do not.
I don't want to
girl.
eat it, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm like, no, I need like variety. I need like the spice of life, man.
I mean, I understand, like, maybe it is, like, for the body, it already knows what's coming, so it's, like, it learns how to work with it incredibly.
I mean, if you're trying to get your bases covered and you don't want to miss out on any nutrients,
right.
then it's kind of important, too, because, I don't know.
But also, for me, like, just growing up around food and, like, loving to cook and, like, loving to try new things, for me, like, that, like, trying new things and eating different meals is, like, an experience for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, 100%. I find joy in that. And I don't know that a lot of people find joy in eating, and I don't think, Matt does. It's like,
what about
you do?
Bavel oyster mushrooms.
Oh my God, it's my favorite restaurant in the entire freaking world.
Really?
Oh my God, it's downtown LA. It's called Bavel. It is divine. Good. Yeah, they make this oyster mushroom platter with like a chimichurri sauce.
Oh, I love chimichurri.
I'm obsessed. I can put that on anything.
Yeah, I do. I have a dish coming out like that in my cookbook too, where it's just a griddled mushroom with chimichurri and potatoes. Like you're meeting your potatoes. So good.
So good, girl. I can't wait for your cookbook to come out.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you have a date or anything? Or
no,
you're like,
I'm going with the flow.
Yeah.
Like, I used to put dates on everything, and then like everyone would have to, keep me like accountable for that. Yeah. And I was like, I don't like this. I'm just gonna do it when I do it.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah.